Battleship Potemkin opens in 1905 during a period of rising unrest in Tsarist Russia, where sailors aboard the battleship are exhausted, mistreated, and humiliated under harsh naval discipline, especially when they are forced to eat rotten meat infested with maggots, which becomes the spark of silent but growing anger among the crew. And this moment slowly builds tension as the sailors realize they are being treated worse than animals by their commanding officers who represent the oppressive Tsarist system. And when the sailors refuse to eat the spoiled food, the ship's officers respond with brutal punishment, threatening execution. And in that moment, the emotional pressure explodes into rebellion as the sailors decide they can no longer tolerate injustice, and they take control of the ship after a dramatic uprising led by the defiant crew, killing some of the oppressive officers and symbolically breaking free from authority, turning the battleship into a symbol of resistance. But the revolution does not stay limited to the ship, as the story shifts to the port city of Odessa, where news of the mutiny spreads quickly among the civilians, who begin to feel hope and solidarity with the rebelling sailors. And the famous Odessa steps sequence shows ordinary people gathering in support, celebrating unity and change. But this hope is suddenly crushed when the Tsar's imperial soldiers arrive and begin a merciless massacre of innocent civilians, including women, children, and elderly people, firing into the crowd with mechanical discipline that highlights the cold brutality of the regime. And one of the most heartbreaking moments occurs when a mother is shot while holding her child, and in panic the child is trampled in the chaos, showing the devastating human cost of oppression, while the sailors on the Potemkin witness these atrocities and feel compelled to act not just for themselves, but for all oppressed people. And as the rebellion continues, the battleship sails toward Odessa with determination, symbolizing collective resistance and revolutionary unity. And in a tense final confrontation, the Imperial fleet is ordered to destroy the mutinous ship, but instead of fighting, the sailors from both sides hesitate, realizing they are all part of the same suffering class and refusing to fire upon each other, which leads to a powerful moment of solidarity where the revolution is no longer just about violence, but about shared humanity and awakening consciousness. And the Potemkin sails through the fleet unchallenged, presenting the unstoppable force of people's unity against oppression. And the film ends on a symbolic note where the uprising is not shown as a final victory but as a continuing struggle, suggesting that revolution is a process rather than a single event. And throughout the entire narrative, the emotional intensity is driven not by dialogue, but by powerful visual storytelling, montage editing, and symbolic imagery that emphasizes class struggle, oppression, and resistance. And the moral message of Battleship Potemkin is clear. When people are pushed beyond human limits by injustice and cruelty, resistance becomes inevitable. And true power does not lie in weapons or authority, but in unity, awareness, and collective action of ordinary people who refuse to accept oppression, showing that history changes when the oppressed recognize their shared strength and stand together against injustice.